Let's talk about idea of Armageddon mini box. And I will be separately talking about Double D with the structure deck, because that's a part of it. And a part of the structure deck and the big box is also Dkayed event. So Dkayed, new events, new skill, all of this craziness is coming with the new stuff. So we will get to that. So let's talk about the non-Double D cards, then we'll talk about the Double D.
There can only be one winner, and you're looking at it. Let's go.
So first off, let's talk about Beast Eyes Pendulum Dragon. Is Beast Eyes Pendulum Dragon a deck type? What is this? What's a Beast Eyes Pendulum Dragon? A beast type monster? So I'm thinking they would have beast type monsters to use this with. Okay. So these are the most popular beasts and/or dark dragons to send from the field to the graveyard to make your fusion that basically has no card effect. Okay, that sucks. Let's move on to the next thing. Crystal Keeper. This is a scale 2. This is a scale 5. So we could special summon level 3 to level 4 Crystal Beast monsters with this. Yeah? So these are the Crystal Beasts that you will be able to Pendulum summon using Crystal Keeper and Crystal Master. Anything that's level 3 or level 4, you will be able to Pendulum summon them onto the field with these. And what do they do? Each turn, the first time an ultimate crystal monster and/or crystal beast would be destroyed, it is not destroyed. And the monster effect is, if a crystal beast monster battles an opponent's monster, during damage calculation, you could tribute this card from your hand or face up from your field. Your battling monster becomes double its original attack and defense during damage calculation, but it is destroyed at the end of the damage step. But if you have a Crystal Keeper in the Pendulum zone, then it's not destroyed. That's very cool. So Crystal Keeper in the Pendulum zone, Crystal Keeper in the hand or on the field, attack with the Crystal Beast, tribute the Crystal Keeper. The Crystal Beast becomes double its original attack and defense during damage calculation. And then if you have Crystal Keeper in the Pendulum zone, it protects the Crystal Beast from being destroyed. What are we boosting? What's a decent boost? What's a normal boost? We're boosting Pegasus to 3,600 attack. 3,600 boost. Crystal Keeper versus Score. Score will change a monster's attack and defense to 0 until the end of this turn. And Crystal Keeper will change the attack to double its original. So what happens? If I am the turn player and you are a lolly connoisseur, you are playing Melodious, but you are playing it with NordVPN, so it's okay. I attack on you. Well, in the damage calculation, it's like a field goal, only one chain link resolution can happen. So if I activate Crystal Keeper, you cannot wait for it to resolve and then choose to score me. If you let the Crystal Keeper resolve, that's it. I get doubled and you don't get to use Score. So what happens is, you're the turn player, you attack. If you activate Crystal Keeper, you are chain link 1. They have to chain link to the Score or they don't get to use the Score at all. And if they use the Score on chain link 2, what happens is the Score will reduce you to 0. Then the Crystal Keeper will boost you to double your original. So essentially, the first person to activate Score or Crystal Keeper is the winner. If it is the Melodious turn player's turn, they're going to have priority to activate Score first. If it is your turn, you'll have priority to activate Crystal Keeper first. All right? So if they activate Score and you chainlink 2 Crystal Keeper, chainlink 2, you become double your original attack. Chain Link 1, the score is going to reduce you to 0. Crystal Master, though, is this a 3 of? Your opponent cannot target ultimate crystal monsters or crystal beast control card effects. So you're going to have both of these as scales, ideally. So the first time your crystal beast will be destroyed, it's not. And your crystal beast cannot be targeted. It's quite poggers. Does that protect you from score? Score does not target. But what about the monster effect? You could tribute this card. Tribute to add an ultimate crystal, crystal beast, or a crystal spell or trap from your deck to your hand. Wow. So I'm playing 3 Crystal Master and 3 Crystal Keeper. This seems like a pay-to-win deck. Search and boost, and their opposing scales, destruction protection, targeting protection, contrast hero. Super rare contrast hero. Now, how many heroes are in this box? Let's type in hero. Whoa, 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 whoa. People are freaking out about this clock tower. I have no idea what it is. Defender. None of these are reprints. This is all new. Super rare, super rare. Let's talk about the contrast hero, Chaos. This is a fusion, 3000 attack, requires 2 masked hero monsters. Always treated as an elemental hero card. Must be fusion summoned and cannot be special summoned by other ways. While face up on the field, this card is also a light attribute. And once per turn, during either player's turn, you can target 1 face-up card on the field. Negate that target's effects until the end of this turn. I'm sorry, Melodious. I'm looking at you. I gotta negate you. Bloom Diva, you are the card to kill, to negate, to banish. And I get to negate you with the contrast hero Chaos. So what we're going to do is we're going to Neos Fusion. So now we have that. And then we pass. He sets an Invoker. Our turn. We Miracle Fusion. Miracle Fusion's going to summon a Grand Merge. Then Grand Merge is going to attack. And after the attack, we're going to activate to tribute to summon a Contrast Hero, mate. Bruh. It just like that. Holy moly. It's a stall card. Hopefully it does not turn into a really good stall deck. This might become the new do not play this deck, but is Konami making these mistakes on purpose at this point? Will this legitimately be a do not play this deck? Because every time I say do not play a deck, Konami nerfs it. So what are they doing? Because now they're committing a super rare to the do not play this deck, which means this deck will not be nerfed. We'll see. So these are memes. It's funny. We'll see how well it works. How about Destiny Hero Defender? During each of your opponent's standby phases, your opponent draws a card. This card must be in face-up defense to activate and to resolve this card. 2700 defense. That's pretty freaking large and in charge if you were not to play it in a deck that stalls and makes your opponent deck out. Otherwise, it could be good for deck out. But 2700 defense, I mean, what was this even good for? Probably not good, right? Trash. And then Destiny Hero Dread Servant. If this card's summoned, place a clock counter on each clock tower. When this card's destroyed by battle, you can target a spell or trap you control, destroy that. So you're going to play Dread Servant with your freaking clock tower. What the hell? Clock. And we already looked at the Pyro Clock of Destiny. Move the turn count forward by 1. And then, so you have Dread Servant and the Pyro Clock to add clock counters. And then Eternal Dread. Place 2 clock counters on each clock tower prison. Wow. That's crazy. And then you want to have Destiny Hero Plasma in the graveyard so that this could summon Destiny Hero Plasma from the grave, right? Could not be North Sunset. Must be special summon from your hand. Initially. By tributing 3 monsters. Or, I mean, it should be able to work, right? Summon a Dreadmaster. Yes. So the Plasma does not get summoned unless it's initially summoned properly. I'm not sure why that guy had it in his deck. I think we're done with the Clock Tower. I'm done with this card. Let's move on. Roon Eyes Pendulum Dragon. Now, I'm told that this card's going to be used alongside the Pendulum Dragon, which we have already concluded sucks. An Odd Eyes Pendulum Dragon, plus a Spellcaster type monster. So what are good Spellcaster type monsters? Unless they're going to be specific ones we use. If we wanted to tech in a Spellcaster, ooh, can we play a Witchcrafter, Dark Magician, Blue Eyes, Pendulum Eyes, Dragon deck? Maybe. If this card was fusion summoned using a Pendulum summoned monster on the field as a fusion material, it is unaffected by your opponent's card effects this turn. Wow. And what's important to know is that this is not a trigger effect, it's a continuous effect. So it does not get summoned, then activates to become unaffected. It is on summon unaffected. So they're not going to be able to Book of Moon, Chain, Canadia, pop it. You're good. So you want to Pendulum summon your Odd Eyes Pendulum Dragon onto the fields, then fusion summon for this. Apply the appropriate effect depending on the original level of the monster used as fusion material that was not Odd Eyes. If it's level 4 or lower, which could be Invoker, this card can make up to 2 attacks on monsters during each battle phase. If it's 5 or higher, this card can make up to 3 attacks on monsters during each battle phase. I'm liking this. This actually does something. The Beast Eyes Pendulums seems kind of trash. This one seems fun. So using the Discord, here's a deck idea from Kite Tenjo. Kite Tenjo using something like this summons the Odd Eyes. Now, what are the spellcasters? The Dragon Pit and Dragon Pulse. What is the fusion summon card? Is one of these performing a fusion? You could fusion summon a fusion monster from your extra deck using monsters you control as fusion materials. Okay, and is he playing that one? He's playing one of it, and then also playing this one. Once per turn, you could fusion summon 1 fusion monster from your extra deck using monsters you control as fusion material, including this card, and it is a spellcaster. If this card is in the Pendulum Zone destroyed, you could target 1 dragon-type monster fusion in your graveyard, special summon it, but destroy it during the end phase. Okay, interesting. So this is kind of its own deck with the Roon Eyes Pendulum Dragon. Does this one do anything with the fusion? When a fusion monster is special summoned to your side of the field, you could special summon 1 Odd Eyes Pendulum from your extra deck. Not sure about that. So, this looks good. Great idea. Tons of spellcasters. The fusion summoning is within the Performa Pals themselves. And then you make your big boy fusion. And you get your multiple attacks and you're good. Perfect. And then we have the Performa Pal Second Donkey. When this card is summoned, you could send a pal from your deck to the grave. And if you have 2 cards in your Pendulum Zones, you could add it to your hand instead. That seems pretty good. On summon, add a pal monster from your deck to your hand if you have 2 Pendulum Zones. Okay. And it is a beast, so it can be used with the other fusion that's not so good, the 3000 attack one, but I think I see a deck being built here. Okay. Fuma Wave is same attribute non-targeting destruction. So instead of targeting a monster on your opponent's side of the field, you could summon a monster like the Dark Tellarknight Bladimus, which will turn all monsters on the field into dark. Now that everything on the field is dark, you Fuma Wave onto your Bladimus, and then you destroy a dark monster on the field, which everything is dark, non-targeting. I don't know if that's really going to be good. It just feels like there's too much setup. All right, let's move on. Jeez. So much copium. Reprint. We're going to look at the other stuff that's worth looking at. The normal monster is worth looking at because you could use the painful decision to mill it and then grab one from the deck. Okay. This Mandragora harbors the soul of a sorrowful dragon. The cursed tones of its wailing cause both fear and despair. Amazing. All right. Cool. D-Clan, brand new box, brand new structure deck, brand new character, brand new everything review. There's so many different things with this. He has cards from the structure deck, a box that's coming out, his own event. Are there going to be any other new exclusive skills that might be time-gated? Let's review Triple Double D Dkayed. So before looking at the structure deck and before looking at the main box, let's look at the reprints, yeah? The new cards? What about the reprints? They want you to go in on Dkayed. Dkayed will be available soon. And here are the reprints. If you already have these, sorry, they're reprinted. So there you go, structure deck, reprint of the slime, reprint of the Dark Contract to the Gate. This is the main searcher. This is the main fusion summon. That's an ultra rare and a super rare. That's huge. That's a big deal. So those two cards being reprinted, wow. Now, on initial impression of the structure deck outside of the slime and the Dark Contract being reprinted, if you don't have these, obviously you're going to want to go in on the structure deck. But what if you don't care about reprints? You only want the new stuff. Without really looking into it, Shinjo, who's getting massively upvoted, says, as one of the peeps who rode the Triple D guide a year ago, I ain't even going through this structure deck because it's that bad. None of the new cards do anything good at all. Only get this if you want to play around with Triple D or have the money. Otherwise, easiest skip of our lives. Yeah, it's that bad for me who loves Triple D to say this. XD. It really is worthless, says Nexarum. Okay. Well, does that mean that the new Triple D is going to suck? We got the new box. The new box is going to give us new Triple D cards too. So if we do the filter D/D, we got 3 new super rares, a new ultra rare. This has to be good. So let's look at some deck ideas before going, it's tiring to go one by one. I mean, what if the cards suck, right? Let's see what other people think of what's good. What is this? A combo or a deck? Show me what this deck could do. Because I'm on that deep copium. Let's go. Okay, he's saying fusion with slime and Baphomet to make Genghis. Banish slime from grave to special summon Kepler. Kepler search witch if turn 1. So Dark Contract of the Witch, you can discard a card to pop any card in the field. That's pretty cool. Baphomet effect to make Kepler level 4. The Kepler special summon also procs Genghis effect and you resummon the Baphomet. Exceed into Caesar. So what was this combo? A 3-card combo to end on this. To have a Genghis, a Dark Contract of the Witch, which will give all your monsters 1,000 attack during your opponent's turn only. What is the Caesar, though? Is the Caesar a difficult to obtain card? It's not from the main box. It's from the structure deck. Oh. Okay, so maybe the structure deck is worth getting. Let's see. Caesar. During either player's turn, you can detach a material from this card at the end of the battle phase. Special summon from your graveyard as many monsters destroyed this turn as possible. But during the standby phase, take 1,000 for each monster special summoned by this effect. If this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, you could add a dark contract from your deck to your hand. You can only use each effect of the Triple D Wave King Caesar once per turn. Activating the slime, I'm going to chain this to detach. Genghis. And we're going to do the same thing. Summon the Kepler. Activate. Activate. And we're going to add the Dark Witch. We're going to then change the level to 4. Let's make our Caesar. Activate. And let's get swinging. Attack. Wait, what? This is activating? What does this want to do? What does it say? The Kepler says that... I'm trying to freaking read it. Kepler says that... Oh, it's the Caesar that's activating. So the Caesar gets to add. Okay, and the Caesar's going to do its other effect. What? What's going on? What is this? What is this happening over here? Resolve effect? What the heck just happened? What is this? I just lost 2K. Oh, God. And there you go. That's what the Caesar does. The Caesar, at the end of the battle phase, special summon from the grave as many monsters destroyed this turn as possible. But then you take 1,000 for each monster summoned by this effect. And also, when it was sent from the field to the grave, we could add a dark contract from the deck to your hand. And that is an example of using the Caesar. Everything died, then everything came back. Poggers. So big news for Double D, Triple D. They are possibly changing all of the new Double D, Triple D cards to, instead of taking 1,000 damage, taking 500 damage. This is all we know right now. Will they change all the older cards? Should they change all the older cards? We don't know. Maybe they'll do that. On the release of Dkayed, have it only deal 500 damage. Interesting, because as you can see right here, it is 1,000 taken damage, but in Konami giving us the announcement for this card, it says 500. And this is the only card we know at the moment of being halved. Commander of the Doom King, I'm going to open this up. And Conley, I'm going to open up your deck, your Genius deck. Okay. What else? Small cheese of the combo. Let's see. Are you ready? Go. Okay, Kepler, summon. There's a tuner. Wait. Wait. So it looks like a lot of people are using the slime to special summon the Kepler. Here's another deck idea. We don't need that. This is going to be good. Just stop. This will be good. Press this after you build Triple D. Gia, ban this person. This deck is akin to buttocks. So part of the copium for Triple D to be good is apparently we need a card called Lamia. If this card is in your hand or graveyard, you could send a double D or contract from your hand or face up to the graveyard to special summon this, but banish it when it leaves the field. It is a Fiend Tuner. So that's quite interesting. Yeah, that's actually really good. If we do get this, you could search with your Dark Contract, send it to the graveyard. You could send the Kepler to the graveyard after searching. Kepler, send it. Oh, you can't. You can't send Kepler. That's illegal. Oh, shoot. That's what I was thinking. Like, how does that work? It doesn't work. You can't send a Pendulum monster to the grave for a cost. Interesting. So here are the current deck ideas. I don't really know what the heck this is. It does seem that so far, unanimously, we are all agreeing that what is good from the new structure and the new box of D/D is Kepler. Whether the deck's going to be top tier or not, we're all focused on this, and we're going to read the other cards. This says you on summon, normal or special, you could search your deck for a Dark Contract. That's insane. So if we look at the Dark Contracts right now, Dark Contract to the gate, this will search, this will fuse, this will boost up your monster by 1,000, also destroy any card in the field. So even if you just add this to the old way to play Triple D, your deck just got better. So at least that is good. I don't know if that's enough to make it top tier. Hopefully we are Pendulum summoning to make it top tier. Otherwise, it is a Pendulum scale, it's 10, that could help with Pendulum summoning. And even though I showed it in the other video of Double D, let's talk about the Doom King Armageddon. It's a scale 4. The Kepler's a scale 10, and we do know about an exclusive skill with the Armageddon. I really thought that this would be in the structure deck, but it's coming in the box. It's expensive. I can't believe that. As a Pendulum scale, you could target a Double D. It will gain 800 until the end of the turn, but the thing we mostly care about is that it's 3,000 attack. It's large, and it is also a scale, and it works with the skill. So let's do an example of using this with the skill. Otherwise, the monster effect is if a monster you control is destroyed, you could target one of those monsters. This card gains attack equal to the original attack until the end of this turn, and cannot attack directly the turn you activate this effect. So let's do this. All right, so Command of the Doom King. We have a deckless example using that, which looks like this, and I'm going to show you a quick little combo with it using something similar to this. It's going to be a small little combo. So what we want is to activate this skill. You have to have a Doom King Armageddon in your hand, and you have to add it to your extra deck to activate the skill. So let's activate the skill. We put the Doom King Armageddon into the extra deck, and it will go there face up. And then you get to choose from your field or deck up to one Pendulum Double D monster and put them into your Pendulum zone. Their effect is negated. We don't care about that. And then at the start of your next turn, return to the deck all the cards you have in your Pendulum Zone. In the Pendulum Zone, this skill can be used only if you start the duel with a deck containing 1 or more Doom King Armageddon, as well as 6 or more Triple D Pendulum monsters. The extra deck does not count. Do not cheat. So what are we missing here? We have a scale 1. We're going to play a scale 10. And if you had the scale 10, you would play the scale 1. And then what you could do is you could Pendulum summon the Doom King Armageddon onto the fields. And it's essentially just 3,000 attack. So this 2-card combo is not that good unless you have other monsters in your hand to summon. So if we do this 2-card combo alongside another Doom King Armageddon in your hand, maybe you have 3, then you do the play. You put a Doom King into your extra deck to play the scale you are missing, the 1 or the 10. Then you Pendulum summon. Summon. You can only summon 1 from the extra deck. And then your wham bam thank you mammon. And if any of these monsters would be destroyed, you could target the monster. You could target one of those monsters that would be destroyed. If a monster you control is destroyed by battle or card effect, you target one of those monsters. This card gains attack equal to that monster's original attack until the end of this turn. All right, so what happens is if you destroy one of these, nothing will happen. But if my Axe Raider gets destroyed, then I could target my Axe Raider. You too? Target my Axe Raider. 4,700, mate. It has to go to the grave. Let's go. Let's freaking go. All right, so you'll target a non-pendulum monster to gain their attack if they get destroyed. All right. All right, structure deck time. All right, this is where everything's going to be fixed. Reprint. Not a reprint. What is this, mate? If it's a Pendulum, then it's probably in the Pendulum version of this. Nope, it is not in the Pendulum version. What about the Proud Ogre? The Proud Ogre? Yeah, Proud Ogre. So let's read the Proud Ogre first. It's a high scale. It's an 8 scale, but it can't summon the Doom King Armageddon. As a scale, you can pay 500 to target a double D you control. It gains 500 attack. Unless you have a double D in your other Pendulum Zone, this card becomes scale 5. What the hell? When this card is normal summoned, how are you normal summoning it? I guess you're going to Pendulum or Fusion summon, then Tribute summon. Tribute summon for the Proud Ogre after Pendulum or Fusion summoning. You could special summon 1 face-up Dark Pendulum from your extra deck. So if you Pendulum summon a Doom King, you Tribute summon over the Doom King, then you special summon the Doom King. And then its effects are negated. Okay. That could be good for just rushing down your opponent, just pushing. Push it. Also, being a level 6 means you could maybe exceed, rank 6 exceed with it. No, it doesn't look like he's really doing that. Or, you know, maybe it works with some tuning. Get tuning, right? With the DD Ghost, you can make a level 8 synchro. That could be a play. All right, it's mostly maybe going to be used for its level 6. Now, Chevalier. Let's read the Apocalypse first, actually. Pendulum, banish 2 double Ds in your graveyard, special summon this card from your Pendulum Zone. So if you Slime, that's a fusion summon. Slime uses itself and another monster to fusion summon. So what do you have in the graveyard? 2 double Ds. So you then play this as a scale. You banish the 2 double Ds from the graveyard, the Slime and the other one. You special summon this. So you have a fusion and this. This is the Apocalypse, Slime, plus any other double D card combo. What does it do on the field? During your opponent's turn, if this card is in your hand or graveyard. Wait, on the field it does nothing? You could target 2 face-up spell traps you control, and then you will special summon this card by destroying the targeted cards. You target 2 face-up spell trap cards you control, then you special summon this. from the hand or graveyard. Interesting. This could be quite interesting. So if you have other Pendulum scales and or face-up dark contracts, this could summon from the hand or graveyard by destroying the scales, which will go to the extra deck, or the dark contracts. You can only use this effect once per turn. That's... I kind of like this. I feel like you'll kind of make a deck with this. It's a low scale. It could summon from your Pendulum zone easily if you do a slime play. Otherwise, it is a card that will... How do we get in the grave, though? I guess because it's a Pendulum monster, the problem is it makes you want to think it's going to continually resummon from the grave. Die, summon, die, summon. It goes to the extra deck, though, where it cannot activate. So it's not actually forever coming out. It kind of comes out once, and that's it. Okay. I think we already talked about... when this card's normal summon, you could add one face-up Pendulum from your extra deck to your hand. It is a level 5, though. This has to be normal summoned. So it's kind of like the Proud Ogre. Instead of special summoning the Pendulum from your extra deck, you're adding it to the hand instead. Okay. What else we got? We got DD. These are reprint. DD recruits, reprint. And then, well, this is the big one. I think this will be the ultra rare of the box. And we kind of talked about this already. Now, beyond that, I don't think we're missing too much information. That's right. Even after a structure deck and a box, we don't have enough information. We do have one skill that's leaked, but there might be more skills. Do you really think the only new skill is going to be a main box ultra rare has to be in your hand? No, come on. Let's be realistic. This structure deck, and I'm not coping. Let's go to the structure deck. Where is it? This structure deck is going to be like the Dark Gaia structure deck. It's going to come with a skill that works with the structure deck. With the Gaia structure deck, did I say Dark Gaia? If so, whatever. With the Gaia structure deck, the skill that came with it to play the Galloping Gaia onto the field, it worked in itself. It does not make sense to have this be the skill with the structure deck because it doesn't work with the structure deck. You have to have a card from the box. So it's not coming with the structure deck. I do think the structure deck, the chat spamming copium, Gia Bantam, it's gonna come with its own skill. We just don't know what it is yet. And it's gonna have something to do with this card probably, the Apocalypse. Last combo. Hey, there we go. We're gonna special summon the Kepler. And, hey, turn 1 Rhino Boss. That does seem poggers. All right, cool. So there's a lot of ideas right now. I think we're missing a lot of information, but even with what we have, there may be some cool plays. I'm not sure how consistent they will be. We're gonna look forward to it. Let's go.